Where does Kentucky stand with 5-star guard Jasper Johnson? That is going to be the conversation on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Wildcats Today, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Carson Nash. Carson, how we doing? What's going on? Better mood today? A little less cranky?
Better mood. You caught me
Almost
after
the
my
weekend?
workout, so you know.
Okay,
Once you get the workout done, you feel a lot better.
Yeah, Carson was, he was a little cranky.
You were the only one. I guess you and Gigi only they caught it a little bit.
If anybody thinks Carson was cranky last episode, let us know in the YouTube comments because it's reality. Be honest, share the truth. We know you were a little cranky, and that's okay. It's okay to be cranky.
Some days it happens.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to talk a little bit about Jasper Johnson. I've also got to talk about what we heard from Amari Williams, Kirk Risa, and Travis Parrish. They will discuss that a little bit. But I want to start talking about Jasper Johnson. And, when it comes to recruiting news, not much, if anything, has changed from the last time we discussed them, which is it looks like Kentucky is behind in this race a little bit. And it looks like Jasper is close to a decision. So, it's Coach Pope has some ground to make up and not a ton of time to do it. So we still stand there. But I remember I was watching the La Familia game, got a huge win, which sets up a matchup, Carson, with the Ville, which I assume will end in a steamroll.
I hope so.
The Cats, hopefully. But
hey, the matchup to watch there is going to be Willie and Trezzel.
Oh yeah,
they got some bad blood going already.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I'm really excited for that game actually. But when I was watching the La Familia game, and Jasper Johnson was in attendance, and then you see videos come out of him talking to the rest of the team, and you see him talking a little bit with Coach Pope. I mean, this is a gut feeling. Our conversation today, like I said, there have been no update changes. The updates are the same. I just don't know, Carson, how if you're Jasper Johnson, you cannot play for the University of Kentucky. So, I mean, where do you stand on this? I think we differ here a little bit. I think I'm a little more optimistic on this than you are. If I'm wrong, tell me, but where do you stand on this?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I just don't feel great about him being a Cat. I mean, recruiting is fluid, like always. And it would shock me. Even since they're saying that North Carolina and Alabama are ahead of us, it would still shock me for him to pick either of those schools over Kentucky, just given the fact that everything behind this decision. But it is a good sign to see him attending the La Familia game and chatting it up with the current players, chatting it up with Coach Pope. Coach Pope was rocking his La Familia jersey that they gifted him before the game. That was pretty cool. So, I mean, it's good to see, but until we get any further news, I'm not sure. But, I mean, recruiting, there's always surprises, so you never know.
And what's funny, like if I had to give us roles on this podcast, Carson, I would say that you are generally the optimistic one, and I am like the world's ending negative guy. And so like I always bring that up when there's reasons to, because like if I have a gut feeling, not saying I'm normally right because I don't think I am, but I just have a gut feeling about this. I think it's going to hit this kid. And Jasper Johnson is a special talent. He's an elite shooter. He's a great guard. And, I wrote in an article, I used the word, it would bring literal heart pain to Kentucky fans. Like I'm talking like pain to watch him in, powder blue or in, Alabama colors. It would bring.
He can't go to Alabama. I know he's favoring them, but it just doesn't make any sense.
I think it'd be even. Would you be more upset if you went to Bama or North Carolina, or is it the same?
Bama, 100%. Because they're not a basketball school. They got one good run. Their Oats made the Final Four. They were good last year. I don't think they're going to do it again. Their defense is not.
Yeah,
is not good. So it would pain me for him to go to Alabama. North Carolina, I mean, you can't be mad about North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
They're up there with the Kentuckys and the Dukes.
And Kentucky's got kids from North Carolina before.
Yeah.
I mean, just stuff's happened.
To lose an in-state recruit to Alabama, a known football school, is a bad look.
I agree. But I guess the gut feeling thing, I'm really trying to collect and explain how I'm feeling. But what I'm kind of getting at here is like, if you're Jasper Johnson and you were there, you're in Rupp Arena for the La Familia game, the current team's there, they're talking to you, they're excited to see you. Coach Pope's excited to see you. You've got this huge crowd on hand for an alumni game. I don't know, being from here, being Woodford County kid, how can you not come play at Kentucky? That's my feeling. And once again, I no updates. Nothing has changed when it comes to, or at least anything he said. But I don't know how he can look at that. He can look at all that, and he can say to himself, I want to go to Alabama. I mean, have you seen? Yeah, sure. Alabama gets pumped up for their games against like Auburn or top 25 teams. Yeah, they'll sell out a crowd. Otherwise, you can hear a pin drop. And I mean, no one cares down there until March. No one cares. I just think it would be really crazy if he went. I would understand North Carolina more. There's tradition there as well. I get it. But the Alabama thing wouldn't make any sense to me. I get it systematically. Nate Oates, he likes the guys who jack up the reach.
Yeah, but systematically, wouldn't you be able to say the same thing about Pope now?
That's what I was going to say. This is now the same, not the same, but a similar offense. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I want to talk about Jasper Johnson today just because I think he's nearing a decision. I bet within the month he's made a decision.
But I'm guessing after Peach Jam.
Yeah, and right now I still lean that Kentucky's behind in this race. But I just think Coach Pope can use this as a selling point. I mean, he's got to. Listen, dude, you're from here. Look at this crowd for the La Familia game. This is a family. This is a family. Kentucky basketball is a family. Your dad is part of the family of Kentucky athletics, and knowing he played football, it would blow my mind. And once again, best of luck wherever Jasper Johnson goes. No disrespect to him. If he goes to Bama, it's okay. Like, it's going to hurt really bad to watch him play under the uniform. But best of luck to the young man if he makes that decision. But I just don't know how he can look at that. It'd be different. So let's say his dad played football at Alabama. This would be different. I would get it. I'd say, okay, you grew up here. Your dad has been selling your whole life the football Alabama thing. I would get it. What I don't. So it's just, but it's not like that. He's a Kentucky kid. He's born and raised. His dad played football here. I don't know how he could make
his grandfather played here too, I think.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, I have no hard evidence. I haven't talked to Jasper. You know what I mean? There's been no recruiting updates. It's just one of those things. I still believe that if Coach Pope puts on the full court press with a month left, I think he can get it done. I think if he sells what I'm talking about right now, if he sells that vision, and there's NIL money, that's not really an issue. That's all there. The issue is what's in his head. Why does he want to go to Alabama? I'd like to know the why, because if we knew the why, you could probably sell the solution to his why at Kentucky.
Well, based on the quotes that he was saying, he put Alabama on the list because of systematically it's a fit, and because you talked about their hot coach the other day, and Alabama being a hot team, and so they. There's a reason why they're on there, and Jasper loves to shoot. So,
yeah, but once again, Jasper, look at the numbers last year.
Yeah,
look at the numbers from BYU last year. What do you think's going to happen here? You know what I mean? And then, how many? Brandon Miller's pretty good in the NBA. How much NBA talent has it turned into? Over the Oates tenure. I think fair, Colin Sexton was before Oates.
To be fair, other than this run, they haven't really done much, and they've had better teams.
So are there any NBA? I know Herb Jones, was he a Nate Oates guy?
Yeah, Herb Jones was a Nate Oates guy.
So there's some NBA players, but not at what
I think Herb Jones was a Nate Oates guy. I could be wrong. I think he was.
So I respect his decision, whatever Jasper Johnson decides to do, but I think he'd be crazy not to come to Kentucky. And that's not even as it's not just as fans saying that. I mean, this makes sense from him. But then there's some people, maybe he wants to get away from home. Once again, there's different things that go into the minds of these players as they make decisions. Maybe he doesn't want to play 30 minutes from home. Maybe
they're all 18 years old. So
yeah. But I think that he'd be crazy not to come play Kentucky looking at this system. But once again, whatever happens. And this is all gut feelings from us. Carson is more, he doesn't think he's coming to Kentucky. I'm not saying I think he's coming to Kentucky, but I believe that if Coach Pope puts on the full court press, he can make it happen because it shouldn't be a hard sell.
My mind can change in a day. Let's be honest. Kobe Bryant, we thought we had no shot of getting him.
We were,
and then 2 days later,
we were flipped on that.
Yeah,
I said, we had no chance. You were like
2 days later, we front runner. So
yeah, so anything can happen. And like I said, there's still a quarter mile to the finish line here, but you got to finish strong if you're Coach Pope. It just a kid. It's like watching, Damian Harris play at Alabama. It'd be funny how similar this is. Or, Jed Willis play at Alabama. I mean, those are literally, once again, Jed Willis, a Lexington kid. Like, it'd be painful to watch. Now, I get that, obviously, football players going to Alabama that makes more sense. But I'm saying, when a great player comes through your state, you got to get them, especially if you're Kentucky basketball, especially. Be like if a 5-star football player left Tuscaloosa to go play at Clemson or something. You know what I mean? Like that can't happen. You are Kentucky basketball. You can't let these players get out of state.
Most of them have panned out too. The ones that have been on the team. So yeah, I mean,
no, I'm with you on that. So now moving on to a different conversation. Carson, what are your thoughts now? Travis Perry's now. Maybe people don't get pumped up about free throws. It depends if you're someone that gets pumped up about free throws. I don't care. He made 100 in a row for 3 straight days. That is 300 out of 300 free throws. When he said that, I remember my face wasn't on camera anywhere. I was in the crowd around him when he brought that up. And I just remember I was like, no shot. And it's true. I mean, it's documented. That is absurd. That is truly absurd. And I know what you're thinking. Well, it's a free throw. Well, first of all, if anyone listening to this podcast can go 250 out of 300, I'll give you $1. Because I don't think anyone listening can, unless you played college basketball, in which that doesn't count. But it's impressive. It's crazy, and I'm getting more excited for Travis Perry every single day that goes by. Carson, what are your thoughts on that?
After hearing Amari Williams talk about him in media availabilities today, he was like, yeah, there's numbers on our shooting splits that like you wouldn't even comprehend. Like if I told you, you wouldn't believe me because that's how good Travis is shooting the ball. They said that he made 100 3-pointers in a row. Yeah, which is absolutely absurd. Like that's Steph Curry. Like that's Steph Curry numbers. But it gets me more and more excited, Andrew. Like I called Jake yesterday because he loves to make fun of me when I like talk crazy about sports, have crazy sports takes. And I'm inching closer to thinking that Travis might have bigger role than what we all expect right now on this year's team.
I still don't know if I'm quite there. He's also rocking the mustache. Did you see his mustache?
He's got the Richie Farmer mustache.
Pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. How angry would you be if you're like a Mississippi State fan or a South Carolina fan, and then here comes this dude with a mustache, and he just goes 7 for 8 from 3, and like I would want like that would be a remote through the TV type of moment if I saw that happen.
Well, I'd tell him what I would tell him is to get used to it. Because it sounds like there's threes raining down in Lexington right now.
But and I remember I was there with Amari when he said that too. And it was funny because what he said was like, listen, like y'all, you keep hearing us players, say Travis Perry can't miss. He's a great shooter. You need to understand how serious we are. Like he went out of his way, Amari did, to reiterate, like, you all don't understand what he is doing on a day-to-day basis. Like we can tell you, I want to reiterate that it is absolutely insane. He said he's never seen anybody do it. So, I mean, here's the deal. You still got to do it in the game. You got to do it with your hand in your face. But there's a chance that Travis Perry is a special shooter. And you know what I was going to ask Travis? You know what would feed families? A Reed Shepherd, Travis Perry 3-point shooting contest in Rupp Arena with a full crowd.
I always heard throughout high school that Travis was always the better scorer, but Reed was the better player.
Yeah. I mean, would you not, how fun would that? We're going to make that awesome. That needs to be, you know how like the one podcast got the Big Z billboard. We need to set up a Reed Shepherd versus Travis Perry 3-point shooting contest. It proceeds go to charity, $5 entry.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That'd be fun to watch.
Do it like over, I was going to say over Christmas break, as if Reed Shepherd gets a Christmas break, but you know what I mean? Like that would be, we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure it out. I'm going to figure that out. We're going to make that happen. But I think I'm all in. I'm still not all in on this year. It sounds like you're buying. So we're flipping our optimism now, Carson.
I'm buying in right now.
And
if it were a stock, I would buy it right now.
See, now, but that's not fair because I would buy stock. But I would, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if I'm all in.
I mean, let me paint the picture for you, right? I mean, you got a kid who's shooting absurd numbers from three. He's doing it in practice. He was a top 10 all-time scorer in high school. All time. I mean, there's names on that list that I'm sure, like, I mean, you got to think LeBron went to high school. Like, we got names. He's top 10 all time. Yeah. So, for him, I just think it's going to be hard to keep him off the floor if he's consistently shooting that efficiently.
It's true.
With those numbers.
I would just have to see him do it with larger people guarding him. In high school, I watched Travis play in high school. One thing, and I wanted to ask him this today, we ran out of time because everybody kept asking 100 million times about his shooting. But, I wanted to know, like, listen, Travis, I watched you play in high school. We went to watch him, play. I went to watch him play when I forget who he played, but it was at the holiday. What's it called? The one at Catholic.
The Holiday Classic.
Holiday Classic, like Catholic. And he had like 4 dudes on him the whole game. Like, because we broke down that film, Carson. Like, he always had multiple people run with him. I kind of wanted to ask him, like, hey, like, listen, do you ever like? Is it almost easier when you're not the number? You know what I mean? Because you can't sit here and say college basketball is easier because it's not. And he talked a little bit about his, adapting to college and stuff. But I mean, he was the focal point of every single defense, every single game he played his entire probably high school career. And now he gets to just be, oh, watch out, he's the shooter. You know what I mean? Like, he might get left open more than he has his entire life. I wonder if maybe he'll be better than we think because he's not going to be the main, you know what I mean? If you're, Duke, right, game 3, you're really worried about Kobe Bryant and Jackson Robinson and Amari Williams and Andrew Carr, not as much Travis Perry. You know what I mean? And there probably won't be a lot of tape. I mean,
well, what was another thing that you always told me that he was so good at?
Moving without the basketball?
Yep. And I think that could be key for him having a bigger role than what we think because, I mean, you're right. Just imagine him coming off ball. He's our third option on the court because we've got Jackson Robinson and Kobe Bryant out there. I mean, he's going to have open shots. And Travis is a good enough passer to make the right decision when he gets the ball. So I think a person who shoots that well always has playing time.
Yeah. So you know what? Yeah, you're kind of selling me a little bit right now. I'm kind of buying into it a little bit more as we talk about it. But I just think that he's going to be a great player over a long period of time. I'm not fully there on this year, but I am there that he's going to be a great player.
Any of the viewers want to join me on the Travis train? More than
once again, but you see, I'm not on the Travis. See, that's
everyone
crazy.
Comment Andrew's a Travis hater.
No, I am a huge Travis fan. I'm simply saying, I just does he beat out some of these veterans for minutes? He would have to take minutes away from a veteran. That's my point.
I know, but he can play the 1 or the 2.
I don't think he's as good of a ball.
I think he could take minutes from Colin Chandler.
Sure, I'll buy that. That I'll buy. You can sell me.
But
that.
I think taking minutes from Colin Chandler, and I think he steals some minutes from the veterans.
Okay, that's fair.
Progressively,
I can live with that. All right, Carson, do you want to tell the people what we're talking about on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I know this guy, guy next to me is not very excited about it, but we're gonna be doing a football breakdown on Tuesday. We're finally getting into it. We're gonna break down the schedule, maybe give you some nuggets on how spring ball went, how everything's going for the team, how we're looking this year. I'm really excited about it. I love Kentucky football, so
we're gonna predict wins and losses. We're gonna go through the schedule, predict wins and losses. Yeah, we're gonna break it all down. So it's gonna be a little bit longer of an episode.
Yeah,
full breakdown of the season.
And I've got some young guns that you need to look out for, younger players that we might.
So Carson's, I'm not being a hater. We're gonna have a good time. I'm excited about it. We're gonna break it down. It's gonna be great. So we'll do that on Tuesday. And then if anything happens basketball wise that needs to be discussed, we'll put a bonus. We'll figure some out. But that is the plan for Tuesday.
Everybody get excited for some Kentucky football.
Yes,
it's almost football time in the bluegrass.
That is. I am very excited for football. Just football. I mean, everything. Fantasy football.
Football season is the best.
Like Carson and I just got done talking about planning when we're gonna have our fantasy football drafts. Like, this is exciting stuff. I'm all in on this.
Well, Andrew, I'll let you know this. So, you get older, you get into the real world, and I'm like, summer is overrated. I'm a fall guy.
Yeah.
As I get older, I'm a fall guy because you don't get summer breaks anymore, so you don't get the joy of having those days off.
Point.
So,
That's a great point you make, because it's like the happiest I am in life. Football, fantasy football. There's like however many words. You want to know what makes me the happiest in this world? Let me count the words. The 8 words that make me the happiest person in the entire world. 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. Those 8 words make me the happiest human being on the face of this earth. So you're right. It's like summer, but I'll tell you that weather in October, November, that like 55, put on a sweatshirt and shorts, all in. I'm all in.
I'll never get more excited than hearing it's football time in the bluegrass.
Yeah.
It just gives me chills.
And then you got to remember, and then, basketball season starts in November too. It's not like it's far, football season, like it's not far off. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the world, ladies and gentlemen. I know that all y'all are right there with us. Any other thoughts, Carson, before we call it a weekend or a week or whatever this is called?
No, but we should probably mention also, well, other than Kerr talking about how well we're shooting the ball, he said that it's unreal. I heard that we shot 71% from the field in the scrimmage and shot 59% from three.
I saw that as well.
Those are absurd numbers. If you shoot like that, you won't lose to anybody. But Amari Williams passing, I think we should highlight his passing ability. Every player has said it. Brandon Garrison, mostly just because he's his basically wingman. He's his guy he's learning from. He said he's never played like a passer like Amari Williams. And I think that can complete our team because you have a big man that can dish the rock. And in one of those videos that they put out, he caught the ball up at the top of the key, but it was kind of too high of a pass, so he jumped and the defense crashed and collapsed on him like you should. Like if the big man's going to put the ball on the ground, but instead of putting the ball on the ground, he catches it and in midair he throws it out to the corner for a wide open 3-pointer. So it's going to be. We're going to see things this year that we haven't seen in a while.
I'm with you. It is going to be a lot of fun watching the Cats this season. But so Tuesday, football breakdown. We'll give you our prediction for the season. Break down every game, talk about all that. That'll be on Tuesday. So I hope everybody is looking forward to a little football talk. That is going to do it for today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I hope everybody has an outstanding weekend. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, helps the show a ton. Leave some comments, share some thoughts. Was Carson grumpy? Let us know in the comments. We need
definitely not. Not
well, you said the comment, Andrew's a Travis hater. I'm 100% going to tell them to comment Carson was grumpy on Tuesday. We're even. We're even.
All right, whatever.
So there you go. But like I said, everybody have a great weekend. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate y'all. And we will see you talk a little football on Tuesday.